Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And guys, today we have a ton of crypto news to share, mostly about altcoins, but I want to fill this video with as much news as possible. So make sure you press that like button, as I'm also, guys, trying to answer every single comment from now on. And yes, my lighting situation is a little bit weird, but I sometimes have to try different things when you don't have daylight anymore, and this is the best that I could come up with. Having said that, the structure is going to be, we're first going to take a look at the price and I'll leave a timestamp down below for when we actually go over into the news. But even though you guys can't see, I can quickly tease it for you. We have a ton of news. You can see it over there at the top right now, the different amount of articles we have to talk about for today. So to quickly get an introduction for the price, I was actually still looking at my XRP and Bitcoin long position, but over the last couple of hours, as this is, I believe, an hourly chart, check it out. Yes, for XRP to USDT. It's been rather confusing as we had a nice little bottom here at the 80.4 cent mark, basically our support level with a little bit of a I guess small difference here. Most likely it was people set orders a little bit above it before hitting our, I guess, first major resistance again at about 81.8, kind of breaking through for a little second, but we actually fell back down the next candle right afterwards. And right now I'm going to say the price action is rather difficult to put into perspective because, as I said a couple of hours ago, things were looking logical for the upside. Bitcoin actually confirmed the breakout over on the longer time frames, and things were looking pretty damn good. But then all of a sudden the S&P opened and fell, and Bitcoin kind of met the same fate. Then again, looking at the Bitcoin price, it did already fall a little bit below it, which I can only potentially, I guess, relate back to the S&P and the Nasdaq and so looking negative in the pre-hours. Maybe that's why, because over the day, they'll most likely actually end up doing quite juicy, as again, the last couple of hours have already been amazing, but the initial was a pretty big drop. And so since that looked negative, Bitcoin looked negative, and right now, again, XRP is gearing up for some sort of move towards either direction. We can see here the projection here. We can see it has to go either side. It's just going within this range here. Pretty nicely accurate, I would say, as well. And for Bitcoin, the same scenario still applies, where we can see a bounce at the Fibonacci level before breaking through and then going rampant, but we will have to see in the short term. Now, again, the S&P and Bitcoin are not one-to-one in correlation right now. I must say Bitcoin did fall at the same time the S&P did, but if you look at the price action here, it's not really the same, to be honest with you. So the one-to-one correlation is not completely there anymore. Then again, it might also be just because Bitcoin is a little bit more volatile inherently, that it moves with a little bit more severity, because it is still quite similar. All right, so one little conclusion. We should, theoretically speaking, have the long position open over on Bybit. If you don't know what Bybit is, check it out. A link is down below. That's, again, what the theory suggests. If it's going to work out, well, we're itching closer and closer towards this level, hoping for a breakout above this resistance. Would be juicy to see. But that's, again, what the broader theory says. For XRP, it has not officially been confirmed, actually, because we're waiting for some breakout towards either direction. But, again, for Bitcoin, we should have the long position open. And again, we have two of them open over on Bybit, but just to let you guys know. All right, to not waste any more time, let's dive right into the news. JP Morgan. This is a couple of these articles are actually from earlier, but I kind of want to combine everything and get you guys a good update on everything that's going on. So again, make sure you press that like button. JP Morgan private bank strategist on crypto. I recognize that I'm late to this. One thing I want to really emphasize a lot is to not trust any bank whenever they let go a statement, report, analysis, regardless of what it is, it doesn't matter. Why? First of all, every single bank has a dozen analysts, multiple dozens of analysts, sometimes hundreds of analysts. They can all have a different opinion. And every single article, regardless of the bias or basic conclusion that they draw, will get clicks. The more outrageous it is, the more it will get clicks. The more people look at that, the more people look at the bank, the more, you understand? So the more analysis that are out there, though, the higher of a probability that somebody will be right. And again, with this type of prediction, it's very often best to just have the most controversial opinion out there, because at the end of the day, if you are very controversial or very contrarian, meaning you're betting against the most logical option, if you were going with the flow, you wouldn't get as much recognition if what you predicted happened. It's the same thing as if I'm saying Bitcoin is going up, the majority of people think so, so I'm not really standing out that much. If I give you a really strange answer or a really strange prediction, which is, for example, Bitcoin is going to die in exactly 7 days and Bank of America is going to say this, that. Since I'm so highly accurate, you might think, it depends a little bit. If I give a really broad time span, it kind of counters. But let's say I'm contrarian, so not against the normal flow of things. A lot of people will recognize that you said something, and that will get a lot of validation. I personally think as well that a part of why we're seeing so many of these is for that specific validation that they were right about these things. And they can always claim that some analyst was right, even though JP Morgan or any one of these banks can have 10 different opinions about the matter. They can say they're bullish, they can say they're bearish, both different analysts, and they can always claim that their analysts were right, if you guys get my drift. So that's why I'm always saying, I recognize that I'm late to this. What exactly is that supposed to mean? You're late to crypto? You're late to what? Who cares if you're late, if they didn't believe first? There's always naysayers. There's always people who adopted quickly. So, okay, thank you for this piece of information from one specific analyst. Unless, again, it's JP, I'm going to say Jamie Dimon, saying, I'm sorry, man, this is the best thing ever. Okay, I want to take a look. CEO status, let me take a look. But if it's just one analyst over there or anything along those lines, I don't think that's worth it. And again, if you want a quick conclusion, it's a person who is the chairman of market and investment strategies for JP Morgan. And he basically, in his report, which is 30 pages long, did not expect crypto to grow from 25 billion to 2.5 trillion. And he's late to the party. That's what he said. All right, then, can XRP reach $1 after 25% gains in 1 week? What's this key support level? I don't think we should discuss this. All we have to discuss for ourselves is, what about XRP? What's going on? Lawsuit. Lawsuit, most important part about it. It's the only thing we're waiting for. All this minimal price movement is nice if you're a leverage trader, if you're trying to trade with some quick profits or quick, swings. But if you were, then you probably wouldn't need me telling you whether or not it's possible because you should be a little bit deeper in it already. So the most people asking about this are the people who are holders, people who really care for it in that sense. And I personally think if you're a holder, what you should be worried about is how exactly is the lawsuit looking? At the end of the day, guys, we've already explained the most prominent factor for the XP price is either Bitcoin, and if that's the case, then you shouldn't be watching this article, or the SEC lawsuit. That's really it. You might say, oh, but Ripple's progress. Yes, but no. Honestly, that's not what's really pushing the price. And again, the intermediary parts of the lawsuit also not. Is just the conclusion of what's going to come out of that, or a Bitcoin move. So can it happen? Can it get to $1? Tomorrow it could, for example. It could literally go to today within a couple of hours like that. It could, really. There's nothing stopping it. But it's going to most likely take Bitcoin to set some sort of precedent, or for it to all of a sudden become very undervalued in people's eyes, which mostly relates back to the lawsuit and the fact that they have a higher probability of winning. But again, then we just go back to statistics, I would say. This is what XRP holders can do right now on the back of the SEC v Ripple. There's one thing I should also say, though, that issue wants to help in the Ripple v SEC case. Apparently, all right, why don't you scratch my nose there for a little second. Apparently what you can do is actually connect to Congress. If you're in the US, download the app, go for it. Not exactly sure what the steps are. If you're not in the US, go to John Deaton's profile, just look around for a little bit. And there's basically a way to, I believe, file for a, I'm not sure if it's a change.org or some sort of petition, basically. And the more signees you get, the more of a chance we have to sort of bring something into Congress where they can basically take a look at what's going on within the SEC. All right, then a quick little warning. White hat hackers protect Coinbase from danger by spotting a threat. I actually wanted to make an entire video about this because I can honestly think now that I can make an hour-long video just talking about all the different sides of this, but apparently anyone here can get me a direct line with someone at Coinbase, preferably management or dev team, possibly Brian Armstrong himself. I'm submitting a HackerOne report, but I'm afraid this can't wait. Can't say more either. This is potentially market nuking. DMs are open. And so I have absolutely no idea of what there was because, again, he's keeping it very vague. But apparently, most likely it's been fixed. Most likely took a look at that. And it really sparks up a pretty big controversial topic, which is an exchange is only as safe as their keys, basically. And if they are not good at storing their keys, I have so many articles, I think, every single day that come out of new hacks, new hacks, new hacks. I don't actually showcase them too often. Wait, guys, you know what? Give me a second. Yeah, no, my bad. I actually wanted to showcase you guys a hack. Couldn't find it, so I guess the next best thing is a rug pull. It's not exactly the same thing, though, but I just saw a couple of articles in the same sector. Unfortunately, I don't remember all the details about it anymore. My story, what I wanted to kind of put there, is that you're putting your money into an exchange, and I always feel safe with putting money on there that I'm trading, or when it's an exchange that has some crazy yield. Yeah, I kind of adapted towards it, but I would not just leave my money in there just sitting forever with no purpose, purely because if you're not spreading it properly enough, if something happens to that exchange, and I've had it before, you're screwed. I had a lot of money in Cryptopia. All my Doge, all my Electronium was in there, which right now is worth, I'm going to say, I think more than $100,000, which was then worth maybe 3,000 or so, maybe less than that even. It's crazy. Point being, you might think now, that's neglectable money. It's the same thing as all those people who lost their hard drives for $2,000 a couple years ago worth of Bitcoin. Right now, that could be hundreds of millions of dollars, for example. Be careful with keeping your money in exchanges. Get yourself a ledger. A link is down below. Or, again, just diversify into different exchanges. Again, if you're putting your money to use, I'm all game. Yes, I do that a lot. But if it's just stable sitting there, put in the effort and take your money off, okay? So that's just my thoughts. Again, I have a lot of money on a couple of different exchanges, so I'm kind of a hypocrite. I'm mostly talking about money that you don't use for altcoins that you can store somewhere else. Why keep it on there? If you're trading actively, different story. All right, let's go through a little bit more rapid pace, all right? Indian parliament member clarifies legal status of crypto. India is a freaking, I'm going to say, difficult story for crypto right now. It's going back and forward, and you might call this clarification. Not really. It's still in a gray area. Everything is kind of illogical, so I don't want to give you guys an update because tomorrow it might be different again, so why even bother? Let's see how India's going to react in a couple of weeks or months maybe. Then let's quickly see. I had another one here that's not altcoin related. Bitcoin dips before the Fed rate hike, Qs amid warning of $9 trillion balance sheet. Reducing the balance sheet may spark bigger Bitcoin losses than a rate hike, one analyst warns. This is actually a really interesting one. Unfortunately, I wanted to start with this article, but I forgot, I guess. Bitcoin fell into the Wall Street Open on February 16th as markets held their breath over upcoming comments from the United States Federal Reserve. So the chop trend breakup makes sense for Bitcoin. Data coming from Cointelegraph's market Whoa, there's some crazy motor somewhere. And TradingView tracked swift decline for BTC to USD around the start of trading with lows of 43.3 thousand. So it did well a little bit before that, but apparently it's because of cues from the Fed on inflation, asset purchase tapering, and the all-important interest rate hike schedule. Now, the written document due at 7 p.m. UTC will cover a meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee from late January. And commenting on the event, Gina Martins-Adams, chief equity strategist at Bloomberg Intelligence, argued that the reduction of the Fed's balance sheet, now at nearly $9 trillion, could spell worse pain for equities than a rate hike. I'm still more worried about the balance sheet rate hikes than rate hikes. Since 2010, changes in the balance sheet explained nearly 1/3 of the move in the markets. Multiple and every 100 base point drop in the balance sheet could shave 29 base points off the S&P 500 forward P/E. She noted, among crypto traders, the mood was thus one of near caution against broader cautious optimism, and still believe more upside to come. But a short-term pullback and or chop before major resistance are breached makes sense sooner than later. Popular crypto analyst, whatever, Crypto Chase said. And for a Bitcoin trader and guys racked capital, meanwhile, attention was further out than the hourly chart. The common weekly close after last Sunday's disappointment still had the opportunity to review an uptrend in the making. He said, it's midweek, but BTC is still positioned for an orange-circled weekly close, which is right there. Lots can still change in the days ahead, but this is the weekly close that will most likely confirm further upside. Okay. And they also confirm BTC bids inch higher. A look at the order book composition for major exchange Binance on the day revealed further encouraging signs. Things are just looking good in that sense. Okay. So again, our date to watch here in the near term, and unfortunately, I'm going to be out right now. It's going to be 11 p.m. Dubai time, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to be out. I will not be able to stream this, but 11 p.m. is going to be a very important part, as it will cover a meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee. And after spending about 5 seconds over on Google, yes, it is definitely a very much anticipated event. A lot of people are talking about this right now as we speak. Can I quickly see the title before it blocks me off? Can't we? Let's quickly see here. FOMC minutes eyed for clues on half-point hike runoff plans. I just wanted to quickly get the thought in. And again, this is happening within a couple of hours. Could have some big or grave consequences. Watch out for this. Take a close eye. And yeah, let's go through rapid pace. Now, this stuff, whenever something is important, I'll get to it further in another episode, but I really got to go quickly here. I just need to get this news to y'all. You see, sometimes I don't even have time for a video, but I'm thinking, man, if I wait another 3 hours, news is going to be outdated, so I need to be on the money, you know? 175 million XRP shoveled by Digital Galaxy's Bidco. Are institutions selling? No, not confirmed in any way, shape, or form. Exchanges moving or any money moving like that, we don't know what it means. So he can't really say anything about it. Bank of Russia being controversial about crypto. We saw it just in India, Russia, same situation. One part wants to ban it. One part is saying like it's like banning the internet, doesn't work. It's because of the truth. You can't ban Bitcoin. About XLM, the price is struggling a little bit. A lot of people are talking about XLM right now. Still personally quite bullish. I'm not seeing the amount of advancements as we've seen before, but I think the entire last couple of months have not been too exciting for Stellar in terms of the crazy groundbreaking news. They're mostly focusing on the background, while also, of course, being a little bit cautious with the Ripple v SEC lawsuit as they might be next. My thoughts? Then about Solana, is that the next PayPal? Pretty bullish on Solana, not gonna lie to you guys. I like the crypto, whole lot of the crypto. We're seeing a lot of talks about centrality in that, and I find it funny how they actually compare it to a PayPal. I'm not exactly sure why of sorts they try to compare it that way, exactly what the purpose of that is. But if you're wondering from my end, am I holding Solana? Am I bullish on the crypto? For sure, hold a lot of it, and I guess I'll just keep doing that for a long time. I was just kind of confused by this. I saw it. I was like, hey, let me quickly put that up. Here it just says, can Solana, known as the Ethereum killer with a value that's soared almost 12,000% since launch, become the next PayPal? It's an interesting thought experiment. I personally don't think so. It's a completely different thing, not meant for the same purpose whatsoever either. Not exactly sure. It's like comparing apples to freaking cars. It's like, what? So, same thing as, for example, Polkadot and a car. It doesn't make a lot of sense to compare the two if you ask me, but okay. Polkadot stands out in the race to rival Ethereum. Another fun little article, fun little debate to have. If you're asking me which is the best or which one has the highest probability to actually pop off as the new Ethereum, Solana, Polkadot, any of the other ones, Atom, Cardano, it's so hard to say. They all have their own small benefits, their own small perks. And I always would suggest just get into all of them and buy some, rather than putting all your eggs into one basket, as you really honestly cannot know. They all have their own perks. Really. It is that deep that literally I can think of 3 pros and 3 cons of every single one of these projects, which makes me not want to invest, which also makes me really want to invest. Same thing goes for Ethereum. Ethereum is ridiculously slow. Solana is ridiculously fast. Polkadot is a completely different concept, so to speak, but they all have the different sides as well. For example, Solana is the issue of outages a lot of people have called out. Again, with Ethereum, the good part is that it's already well known. And with the Polkadot, again, the stranger concept is also, I guess, one of the benefits. Same thing for Atom. It's different than the usual, so it's a different concept that might do better in terms of potentially scalability. Now, New York Stock Exchange moves closer to NFT trading with trademark application. Very big news in this sense. It depends a little bit on how they're going to pull this through, but I see a lot of people over on the interwebs talking about this right now. Again, New York Stock Exchange is moving into NFT trading and allowing something like that. They went to go for some sort of trademark, so very big news, of course. Not sure I'm going to incorporate that in the title. And last but not least, Gary Gensler says the SEC won't back down on the XP lawsuit. Just a little reminder. It's going to continue on. Hopefully Ripple will win. I think so personally. But these videos are not financial advice, not legal advice. It's just my own opinion at the end of the day. So do with it as you please, but always do your own due diligence. Good luck researching, guys. Good luck investing in crypto. And I'll see you guys later in another crypto video. I'm going to stall my Warren Buffett video, another one. So the next video is going to be Warren Buffett. I'm going to wait because I want to post this one first. So yeah.